Okay, today is either 9:29 or 9:30, depending on what class you're in. Make sure you write your name and what period it is. Today we're going to learn about functions and function notation. There's 2 stars, so it's really important. A function is a relation or a relationship, a relation in which each input has exactly one output. So you put something in and you get only one thing out. Are the following relations functions? This is called a mapping, because you map 4 to 3 and 2 to -2 and 0 to -2 and -1 to 5. It's called a mapping. This is the input and this is the output. So you want to know if each input has exactly one output. Well, 4 has exactly 3, and 2 only goes to -2, and 0 goes to -2, and -1 goes to 5. So each of these inputs only goes to one output, exactly one output. So we're going to write yes. Each input has exactly one output. Then we're going to look at the next one and we're going to see, is that the same here? Does each input have exactly one output, or is there a number that messes things up? And the number that messes things up is 1, because it is mapped to 1 and to 2. So no. And we're going to be very specific. We're going to say the input 1 has 2 outputs, 1 and 2. We tell which outputs it has. We tell which number is the number that got us in trouble, that made it not a function. Now, the x's can't repeat, the inputs can't repeat, but the outputs can repeat. But we don't use that for our reasoning. It has to be using the definition of the function. But the inputs have to be just used once, but the output, -2, is used by 0 and 2, and it's okay. Which of the following relations is a function? This time we're looking for the function. So is the first one a function? We have a 1 and a 1, which has a -6 and a 0. So this one's not a function. Is the next one B a function? We have 5 and 5 that goes -1 and 9. So no, it's not a function. How about C? That one's really bad because 6 is mapped to 1, 2, and 3. So it definitely doesn't have exactly one output. And then how about D? 0, 1, 2. So yes. Why? It says explain why. Each input has exactly one output. These are called ordered pairs. So we have a mapping, we have ordered pairs, we have a graph. A graph is just putting the ordered pairs on a graph. We want to decide if this is a function or not. And there's something called the vertical line test. And we can use it to tell something's a function, but we don't use it as our reason. We would use our reason just like this. You draw a vertical line and you see how many points you intersect. And if you intersect more than one point, when you draw your vertical line, then it's not a function. So no. The input let's see which input. 1, 2, 3 has 2 outputs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 and 7. So the vertical line test is useful in helping us check, but we give a reason. If it's yes, this reason. If it's no, it's that reason. And on the back, we're going to use function notation. Evaluate each expression. Find the value of each expression. So when we do this, y is equal to f of x. They're interchangeable. If you see f of x, it means y. That means f of x is equal to y. And we say it f of x. It's called function notation. So this is f of x is 3x minus 5. We want to find f of negative 1. We want to know when x is negative 1, what y is, what f of x is, what f of negative 1 is. So what we do is we take the negative 1 and we substitute it in for x. So f of negative 1 is equal to 3 times x minus 5. But for the x, we put negative 1, and you're going to use parentheses when you do the substitution. So we get negative 3 minus 5, which is negative 8. F of 7. 3 times 7 minus 5 equals 21 minus 5 equals 16. F of 0. 3 times 0 minus 5 equals 0 minus 5 equals negative 5. F of y. 3y minus 5. Where there was an x, we put a y. So that's the right answer, f of y. So now we do the same thing with g of x. G of negative 3, negative 2/3 times negative 3, which is negative 3 over 1, plus 4 equals, see how the 3's can cancel? And negative times negative is positive, so we get 2 over 1. 2 plus 4 equals 6. Or you can multiply. Negative 2 times negative 3 is 6 over 3 plus 4. And 6 over 3 is 2 plus 4, which is 6. So either way you want to do it, if you want to cancel or if you want to just multiply. G of 6. We're going to put 6 over 1 in for our x plus 4. So we get negative 12 over 3 plus 4, which is negative 4 plus 4, which gives us 0. Or we can cancel the 3 with this, and 3 goes into 6 twice, and we get negative 2 times 2 is negative 4 plus 4, which is 0. You don't have to do it both ways, you just have to do it one of the ways. G of 2. Negative 2/3 times 2 over 1 plus 4 equals negative 4/3 plus 4. Well, 4 is, if you multiply by 3 over 3 to get a common denominator, you get 12 over 3. Does everybody agree that 12 divided by 3 is the same thing as 4? So what's 12 minus 4? 8/3. Fun fractions. And then if you substitute m in, it's just g of m equals negative 2/3 m plus 4. So on this one we needed a common denominator, because they were fractions and they had different denominators. So this is what you're going to be doing for homework, deciding if something is a function or not, and then using function notation. Good luck.